High-def rock and roll 24/7. You're on ClassicRockRadioHD.com.
We will rock you.
ClassicRockRadioHD.com.
Seems like a good thing wrong to go.
All right, everybody in the car. Let's go.
What are we gonna do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure, if you want.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
What about a bike ride? No, I want to fish.
Okay.
I've never been fishing.
Honey, we can do it all.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not.
Is it gonna be long?
No, sweetie.
I bet it takes forever.
It's not that far.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already? No way! Come on.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
And welcome everybody to Logic Nation. Matt, your host here. Yeah, check out Billy Idol getting down to the good old guitar there. Yes, I was fiddling behind the microphone, and here we are. Today is June 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host. I got the Colonel, Rayford Brown. Colonel, good morning, sir.
Good morning. And this morning I conceded to my wife that I think I can last the next 3 days so we can make 52 years.
Wow, 52 years. Does it seem longer?
No.
That's a standing joke. Okay.
I understand.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot going on the planet here. But, you know, somebody asked me, well, first of all, if you want to be on the show, give me a call. 866-89-LOGIC. 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social media at Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio. Twitter and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. Now, I'm very disappointed. I thought I was going to be able to get a friend of mine on the show here that I had on my other program, and we were going to have a great conversation. We had a miscommunicate, and so it may not be until next week, but we will do our best. So we've got an open day today. I'm expecting bunches of calls. Tell me what's on your mind. What's hot what's top of the list for you? What needs to be done, et cetera, et cetera. But I was asked a question, and the question was, what do I believe in? Well, that was easy, pretty much. First thing on top of my list is that Jesus is my Lord and Savior. That's what I believe in. And I also believe the more we take God out of this country, the worse we're getting.
Agree.
Agree, yes. I believe COVID is a farce. And I believe the George Floyd death has been ambushed. I believe Antifa is a cancer. And I believe without the Holy Spirit and firearms, we'd be in deep trouble. You see all these videos out there, all these people protecting their property with that black rifle and other forms of blackness, whether it be a Mossberg shotgun or a AR-15 or some other type of hunting rifle. They're protecting the people. They're protecting the property. I'm watching videos from all over. And I'm hoping that somebody will call us up this morning and tell us what they're doing to help local areas. We've got a local event coming up on Friday. And, Colonel, I don't know what you're able to talk about it or not. But if you can, why don't you express what's going on Friday?
Okay, Friday evening at 6:30, a group is meeting in the parking lot of City Hall. And they're going to be demonstrating for George Floyd and for Dean, for Floyd and Dean. And Dean was the black man that was killed on December 2nd here in Temple during a traffic stop. So we have our issues here in town that are exciting and should excite our concerns about our local police force. So humans are not perfect. All men have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. I am not perfect. Matt's not perfect.
Say what?
But
Darn
and
right I'm
our
not
show, before this show, there's a program that comes on. They bill themselves as America's First News. We tend to think of ourselves as America's First Truth, and our goal is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us God.
Now, let me add to that. That is our goal. We screw it up sometimes.
We are imperfect. But we try to research and get the truth and the whole truth. There are a lot of angles on the George Floyd situation. He left Houston because he had a rap sheet, and
Colonel, I want to
he's
talk
trying
about that.
to-
I want to talk about that. Let's hold up that for
Okay,
a second. Let me get
all right.
Jonathan on the line. I got Jonathan on the line here, but I want to go back to Floyd because you're right. We're going to break that down so everybody gets a true understanding and we can dissect this.
multifaceted.
Multifaceted. All right, I got Jonathan on the line. And Jonathan, I appreciate you calling. What's on your mind, buddy?
Not a problem. I was at home last night when I got a text message saying that there had been a threat made against rioting or looting the Killeen Mall. And would I be interested in going up there and helping protect our community? I said, sure. Threw my clothes back on and grabbed my evil black rifle and was met up there by another dozen or so armed individuals who stood there and protected the Killeen Mall well into the night last night with easily 50 unarmed, peaceful protesters who were there with the exact same intent to make sure that nothing bad happened to the community. We were working in cooperation with the Killeen Police Department, who several times rolled by and told us, thank you. Thank you for standing up for your community.
The Killeen Police did that?
The Killeen Police did that.
You see that, man? When stuff like that happens, that needs to be broadcast too. Because we're always hearing the bad stuff, and like we're always saying, you've got some bad apples that make the whole basket, the whole bushel terrible. So we want to raise them up when they do that and promote them at times like this because they are. I mean, it's just like military personnel. They volunteer, and they go in there. Majority of the people go in there for true reasons, and that is to protect their local area. Go ahead.
I've been to dozens of open carry rallies all over the state, but this is the first time I've went to one and worked in cooperation with Black Lives Matter. I can actually say that truthfully. But, those guys came up to us the same way as the police did. And, hey, man, thank you. We appreciate you being here. Can we get you something to drink? Can we get you a chair? We appreciate you being here to help keep us safe. And it was a very fun experience. No, nothing bad happened. No one was injured. Everyone was kept safe. And we need more of those experiences, I think.
That's it. Everybody just needs to unite in a positive manner and to stay calm. This will pass too is being run by an evil agenda. If we recognize that, we are better able to handle it. If we're in bewilderment as to what's going on, why is this happening? Oh my gosh, there's definitely agenda behind it, and it's being pushed by certain people behind the curtain.
That the Democratic Socialists of America are deeply involved and have been planning this, and it's alleged that they have been supplying the pallets of bricks that have been showing up. They have, if you look up Democratic Socialists of America, you'll see that they're also the ones that put AOC into office. This is our country. Our Constitution has been under attack for years, for hundreds of years. So there's a whole lot going on here besides this. One of the things, we have a peaceful demonstration planned. Patrick Aryn is leading a peaceful demonstration this Friday evening here in Temple. I fear that we will have busloads of demonstrators organized in Austin show up to try to interfere.
Well, with social media and the way things get around, and Austin being as local as it is to us, and with all that's going on there, I can't imagine it not happening. What do you think? What do you think, Jonathan?
I can't say it didn't happen last night. The funniest thing that happened to us was one individual walked up and said, "Hey, are you the group that's here to riot the mall? I'm here for a free TV." And the look on his face when we explained that that's not what we were there for was priceless. Priceless.
All right, well, Jonathan, I appreciate you sharing that. I'm coming up to a hard break here. And
All right, y'all take care and have a good day.
You too. Appreciate the call. If you want to give us a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. We're going to take a 3-minute break, be back, and we'll continue on. See you on the other side. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Betros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin.
I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it, let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
Here's a question from Smith Supply. Who do you turn to for guidance when it comes to cleaning, disinfecting, or pool maintenance? From janitorial supplies, paper goods, and Pool Life pool supplies, at Smith Supply, we deliver what others promise. At a time when just about anyone can offer you a good deal, Smith Supply is where you'll find the best answers and customer service. We're located at 5202 Midway Drive behind Garland Shelton Pre-Owned Center in Temple. Smith Supply has everything to clean anything.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm gonna take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. It's June 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here with the Colonel, Rayford Brown. Got Bill Huffman, executive producer, on the way in, probably in the 9 o'clock hour. And you, the listening audience. So give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social media at Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio. And we've got Twitter and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. Got off... I got off a little different than what I wanted to do this morning, but that's okay. It all works out for good. But let me give you an idea of some of the topics we'll talk about, plus a whole bunch more, and your phone calls. Obviously, we'll be doing devotional quotes and announcements right after the highlights here. True stories. I've got one that I want to read concerning current events. You got the Colonel doing the constitutional segment. And, Colonel, what are we talking about today, sir?
We're talking about the 17th Amendment and direct election of senators.
There you go. So be prepared for that in about 10 minutes. Now, white people kneel for forgiveness. Ladies and gentlemen, forget it. I'll cover your 6, but I'm not going to kneel for something I didn't do, okay? We move on. We continue on. We carry on. We get over this and move on. I will be darned if I kneel. I will cover your 6, but I will not. I've got stories here. I scratch my head. Woman kneels and told to apologize for her white privilege. Guess what? She did. I've got an NBA announcer, Grant Napier. Is that how you say it? apologizes for saying all lives matter. The heck is wrong with these people? I don't get it. Now, it's not GameStop. It's game over. Armed gamers protect GameStop from looters. Kind of sounds like what Jonathan was doing. Up on the rooftops with rifles and arms. It's done, ladies and gentlemen. It's done. We're sticking a fork in it. No more. New York Times changed the headlines after backlash from the left. Got President Trump here doing what he does, and the Times is reporting it. But because the headline doesn't fit the narrative, the backlash hits, so the Times changes the headline to appease the left. Now we've got refreshing news. Looter begs for life as shop owner holds him at gunpoint. I found it very enjoyable to watch. Like I said, this is not a genuine protest. Okay? This is rioting. And 95% of all arrests in Santa Monica were from out of town. They're bussing people in. There was over 400 arrests, and over 95% of the arrests were from people out of that town. They're coming in from all over, like the colonel was saying there. We're putting bricks in pallets and setting them up. The rioters are throwing rocks at their own supporters. If you were a supporter of these people who are rioting, and then they started attacking you and throwing rocks at you and breaking your windows and stealing your property, would you still support them?
No. If you were a policeman and a guy is got his arm cocked with a brick and he's preparing to launch a brick at your other police, are you authorized to use deadly force to stop him?
That's a good question, because our military personnel, if the guy had the brick in his arm and hadn't thrown it yet, has to wait till it's thrown before they can counter. So I don't know. Does law enforcement have the ability to do that? Tucker Carlson does not like Jared Kushner at all. Puts Trump on notice. Have you heard that? Did you hear that audio?
No, I did not.
I got the audio, and we'll play it later on. Poll finds majority of Americans want military help for the police with the riots. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Do you want the military in to help with the police when it comes to these riots? Colonel, what's your thoughts?
That's exactly the goal of the Democratic Socialists of America. They want anarchy, and they want the people to give up their freedoms and liberty and beg for a central government.
That is a pure example of Hegelian dialectic. There's a problem, and the people will respond and react. And you know what? We have an answer for it, and it's just like you just said.
Liberty is the answer, and self-responsibility.
Now, Colonel, we must argue, though, because you have brought it up, there is a constitutional way and method for the military to come at hand. It was like we saw in Washington, D.C., the governor or the person in control of the state or the city or the locale or whatever requesting the help. Is that not correct, or did I get that wrong?
The Insurrection Act of 1807.
Okay, so I guess if you want military, as long as it's done according to the Constitution, if I'm a constitutionalist, one who's going to defend it, how can I argue that? But it's not happening that way, so I would be opposed to it. I would rather local law enforcement do it, and us, just like Jonathan did, in cooperation with the Killeen Police Department, work together. I've made this comment over and over and over again. You sheriffs out there, you need to go find all your license to carry personnel. They've already got to prove that they're good people and put them to some type of class that is appropriate for you, and stop worrying about this damn insurance problem, okay? We need to get over that and work together and get basically a posse. Get your posse on a speed dial and say, hey, I need some help. I've told this to DPS troopers. I've told this to police officers. I told this to sheriff's deputies. You know me. You got my number. If you need help and I'm in the area, I'm prepared to back you up. That's what you need out there. You need a network of people that you can count on. We don't need to call in the military. It's not their job.
Yes, the posse, the sheriff's department, the posse, the local police, and the local police are aware of the demonstration, and Lieutenant Lynch, I believe was the name, is working with security. So the whole idea is to maintain decorum and have a peaceful demonstration. And I've encouraged, I called or sent an email to Tim Davis, the mayor, and said, let's be sure that we give him a voice and find out what his objectives and goals are, and let's help him meet those goals. Awareness and the thing. We are all brothers. We have to love one another as Jesus loved us. That was the rule. And if we do that, things get really nice.
It gets better. We could put him in the picture, things get better. We take him out, and look what happens. Now, so I want your call on that. I want your opinion. Some people would say, no, we want the military. Some will say, absolutely not, like you just heard me say. But I would like to hear your thoughts as to whether or not you would like the military to help law enforcement control these riots. Also, all you gun haters out there, if these riots don't wake you up for the need of the Second Amendment, then you're just lost. And actually, you become a burden to others, because instead of defending yourself and protecting your neighbor and watching out for your neighbor, you then hide under pillows and call 911 and put max stress on the entire system, because now extra hands have to come out and protect you, whereas you could have protected yourself. You see it every day now on TV. You see the riots, and you see what a good person with a firearm can do. What's going through your mind? Are you so afraid of life? Are you so lacking in understanding of how it works? A gun is a tool. It can be used for either good or bad, depending on who the person is. Guns will be here to the end of time, until the lion sleeps with the lamb. And even at that point, like I always say, I bet you that lamb's going to have a firearm under its pillow when it's laying next to that lion, okay? Because you just never know. Until God himself sets foot on this planet and it's all over and done with, guns will be here. So you better learn how to use it. It's just like a tire. You got a spare tire in your car? You get a flat? Who wants to fix a flat tire? But at least you better know how to do it.
Sheepdogs and wolves both have fangs. It depends on how you're going to use them.
That's right. Good analogy there, Colonel. All right. Also, you got the Senate Republicans. They're going to be questioning the former Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein concerning Russiagate. Remember when he was saying he'll wear a wire to go in the White House to catch President Trump and what he's saying?
And try to get an 25th Amendment, which was about irrational behavior.
The way President Trump is responding, I think, is above and beyond anything anybody else put in that same scenario would be able to handle. What he is doing and how he stays stoic and defensive, and he's human. He's going to make mistakes. But anybody else put in that position, that's why I'm saying if any other person besides Trump was in the moment in time now, they'd be eviscerated by the press. They would crumble. They would try to make agreements to get them off his back or her back, whoever's in the position of power. Trump stands his ground. He said, this is what I'm going to do. He's keeping to his promise mostly, and when he can't, it's because he's being fought against by everybody else. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have the Colonel. We'll do our constitutional segment. Give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social media at Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio, Twitter and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. Be back in 3. See you on the other side.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad and names and numbers.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm gonna take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In '05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in '09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, June 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here with the Colonel Rayford Brown. If you want to be on the show, give me a call at 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Got the phones lit up here. We're going to start off right with Ray. So, Ray, let me get you set up here. And Ray is calling about posses, right?
Correct, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, buddy. Go ahead. What's on your mind? Tell us what you got.
Thank you for taking my call. I love that idea. I was wondering the other day what an individual can do, but local problems, local solutions sounds like to me. That's a great idea.
I've brought it up many a times, but the thing that keeps putting it down is the worry about insurance or something around those effects. And I'm thinking there's got to be a way to work around this.
What, I'm not understanding what you mean by insurance.
Liability in case I do something. I'm not a sworn peace officer, right? So, and I haven't gone through all the necessary learning skills of becoming a peace officer. And here I am on scene in assistance with law enforcement. And if something goes wrong, is the city, the county, the state held liable for my actions?
Seems to me in a situation of insurrection, there is no liability.
I'm not sure. I'm not an attorney, but it'd be a great conversation. And I'm looking to get somebody on. I was hoping to have an attorney friend of mine come on here, but it just didn't work out. And he'd be a great guy to ask on that because we've talked about it many a times before.
Yeah.
But he does it with such detail. But yeah, I think so. If I got law enforcement out there and give me a call, tell me what they think on that, it'd be nice to hear about it. What else you got?
The other question I had, aside from being deputized or whatever, at which point does a citizen have the right or the obligation or the responsibility to rise up. I mean, there's more of us than there are of the demonstrators. I realize it to be a counter demonstration or a counter whatever you want to call it. But
Well, that's an interesting question, Ray. I was watching some video of some suburbs out in California. I can't pronounce Yakilia, California, I believe it was. You got people right next to their homes. They're all armed. Antifa comes out. They start trying to cause trouble, and these guys just send them marching home, not to come back. I mean, I think they had a very persuasive argument with the Antifa personnel that made them decide, I won't press charges, and I'm out of here before I lose the rest of my hide. So, I mean, that's a very persuasive way if we all stick together in unity. But if you have all these people intermittent between you and they're all afraid and scared of their own shadow, and you're out there trying to protect your property, it's just a hassle.
yeah,
So-
generally speaking, though, mobs are, whether it's a mob like that or just a gang, they're pretty brave when they're in a bunch, but individually they're cowards.
Well, sure. That's usually the case. Absolutely. Well, look, Ray, if you can mention it to some other people, bring up the conversation, see if you can get some answers when it comes to the posse aspect of protection.
Well, I've got most of my representatives on speed dials. I usually end up calling them. I start with John Cornyn and work on down the line.
Oh, great. Good deal.
The other thing, and I did this with Mr. Cornyn yesterday, and I don't know if you guys ever want to talk about this or not, but a group of my neighbors and I had a group discussion. It was actually yesterday, and we have come to the conclusion that there are an awful lot of police officers that are not mentally fit to be police officers, and I'm thinking that maybe most police departments need to review a good many of their officers because even though there's a younger officer that may be seeing something going wrong, they don't speak up sometimes because they're afraid of the repercussions from within their own departments. And if you think about it, it takes a pretty strong man to stand up and be the individual in a group and say, this is wrong.
Now, Ray, I gotta back you up there a little bit. I mean, I'm not knocking law enforcement. I'm extremely favorable to law enforcement, but I'm against the bad ones, and I'm also against the greenness of new recruits and how they're not getting what they need to get on the streets. Their ability to discern situations, their just common sense in situations, their lack of training when it comes to not only firearms but handling people. It worries me. So look, great topics. I got another call on the line. Let me get him before we get to the break. All right.
You have a blessed day, sir.
You too, buddy. Thanks. All right, I got Bill on the line. Bill, thanks for calling. What's on your mind, buddy?
Yes, sir. If I had a gun and I handed it to somebody and said, "Would you go over there and shoot that guy?" and he does, I'm as guilty as him. Correct?
Well, I wouldn't think you'd be there, Bill. But just due to the fact that if this idiot's going to do it, that's on his own recourse. The court would probably say, "Well, you gave him the opportunity to do it," but I'm not an attorney. I can't tell you for sure. But
well, the point I'm trying to get to is these paid rioters. Why aren't the ones that pay them are guilty of whatever the rioters' damage and stuff?
I would think they would be, but nobody seems to go out there and hunt them down. For example, the bricks that are being put in pallets. I know they got security cameras. I know they can figure out who dropped them off. They can trace it back that way and find out who this person is, ask them questions. How are they getting paid? Who paid you? Who are these people? What's their agenda? And go all the way back. And yeah, I would think so. But
exactly.
But yeah. I don't see it happening. And if it is happening, they're keeping it quiet.
All the damage they're doing to property and communities.
Well, I agree. Somebody should be responsible. It shouldn't be the people in businesses and homes and people just in general walking around who get caught up in this. If you're in a mob area, you shouldn't be walking around there for just general purposes. But if you got businesses and homes and property there and it's getting damaged, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are hurting, losing a lot of finances when it comes to all that. Somebody needs to be held responsible. I got to take a hard break, 3 minutes. I appreciate the calls, gentlemen. We'll be back.
Yes, sir.
Give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family-owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, quickwrenchautomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas, and our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Art Coons, the owner of ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to ANC Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. ANC Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Water is the absolute worst thing for your driveway. It seeps below the surface and erodes the base, which leads to cracks and uneven slabs of concrete. Call the Driveway Company. Our certified concrete specialists will lift, fill, and seal your driveway, keeping it beautiful for years to come and saving you thousands of dollars. Call today for a free inspection.
The Driveway Company.
Call today at 293-SEAL, 293-SEAL.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Matt, your host here. It is June 3rd, 2020. Got the Colonel Rayford Brown, and we've got some more calls coming in, so we'll be taking them first. If you want to be on the show, give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Don't forget, stream us live at logicnation.us. Social medias at Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio, Twitter at Logic Nation USA, Periscope at Logic Nation USA. So give us a call, 866-89-LOGIC. I've got Rick on the line, wants to talk about, I believe, Antifa, however you want to say it. So let me get him on the line here real quick and say hello. Rick, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for calling, buddy. What's on your mind?
How you doing? Look, yeah, Antifa. There's not one person. I heard this on the radio from an ex-Antifa guy. He was 26 years old. He had been in Antifa, and he walked away from it because he didn't really agree with what they did once he got into it and saw what it was. But it's college professors is where the majority of them are, and they're different colleges and universities, but they're indoctrinating these students to get them into Antifa. But if they can find the people that's doing it,
I think they have, Rick, they have somewhat of an educational liberty, the professors, to teach a certain degree of, they can go lateral on their instruction. I mean, and they've got a basic course, but they're given a little bit of leeway for personal presence in the classroom. So, yeah, these are indoctrination places, these colleges, and you've got a lot of these instructors in there who are teaching, who are pushing this type of agenda in their own special little ways. So absolutely, we're producing them like crazy, and they've taken our schools all the way from elementary grade, high school, and now colleges, and that's what we're ended up with. We're ended up with people with mush brains who are thinking socialistic thoughts.
Well,
yeah, but
mush
my point is, why can't if we can hold those individuals responsible, find out who they are, and hold them, legally responsible for it? Can't that trickle down to the universities? You may not be able to sue them, but hold their feet to the fire about who they're hiring.
You would think you could do it. It's just a matter of people getting up and doing it, I guess.
Well, I think we got the right people in right now that will do it. And I don't want to know if they're on that track right now. Don't tell everybody. Let me know when you do it. After you start bringing these people in, look, we got this. This is who we have.
Why does the state of Texas keep giving money to the University of Texas, which is a socialist stronghold? Why do we finance them? Why does the governor promote the Democrat Party platform, although he was elected as a Republican? Why did they the legislature pass 2 items off of the Democratic Party platform and 0 off of the Republican platform when the Speaker of the House was a quote, Republican?
I wish I had those answers.
It's I'm speechless sometimes when it comes to this, because the answer is there. It's just the method of getting it done that is extremely difficult. And that's people who are not informed, people who are ignorant, people don't care, people are too busy, whatever their excuse is. That's what ends up happening, is there ends up being too many excuses and not enough action. But
well, it's time for us to take action.
Yeah, I totally agree. And everybody's got their part. Not everybody can do everything, but everybody's got a specialty that they can do that's better than somebody else. So you need to maximize. Look, we're all given gifts from God. Whether if you're prophetic, do your prophecies. If you're whatever it is, I can't do the list. I don't have the words in front of me at the moment. But if you've got a special gift, maximize that gift in a positive way. If you're a red-blooded American, if you love America, you understand America, the first thing you need to do is understand its Constitution and Bill of Rights. That's why we're so blessed to have the Colonel here. He explains it bit by bit, and we can learn and understand it so that when we're contrary to it, we can see it, and then that's where we go with our gifts and we try to correct it. You got some add-on, Colonel?
I don't have anything to add on to that. I'm just standing by ready to go whenever we get a chance.
All right, Rick.
All right, I'll let y'all go.
I appreciate the call. Thanks.
Have a good one. Bye.
You too. All right, well, Colonel, I don't have much time for you to do your segment at the moment because I only got about 30 seconds. So, but Rick brings up a great point, and it kind of matches up what Bill was saying.
30 seconds may be more than I know.
The last caller before Rick was making the same comment. We need to go after the people who are instigating this as well. I'm sure they're protected by mounds and mounds of legalities that you have to go through because the ones who are running it are deeply entrenched.
Nancy Pelosi is supporting it. Okay. The Democratic Socialists of America have put over 100 of the representatives into office. They are the ground game.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not happy with the situation, it's most likely because we were apathetic, ignorant, and hopefully we're being made aware and enlightened. So we need to get out of that and start working towards what this country's all about. We'll be back in 3 minutes. See you on the other side.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, June 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here. I'm with the Colonel, Rayford Brown. Bill Huffman, executive producer, should be in the next hour. But I'll tell you what, with the excitement going on here, I failed once again to do devotional early, so I'm going to do it now before the top of the hour. And I do it Monday through Friday. Been doing it for many years, and I do it to a long list of people. I've been blessed to have the opportunity and also have the opportunity here on the radio to do it as well. So if you're not into this kind of thing, stick your fingers in your ear, lower the volume, or maybe, just maybe, take a chance and listen. It may prick your heart and draw you closer to him, okay? So today's devotional reads, Good morning. Though many tribulations, we must enter through many tribulations, we must enter the kingdom of God. This comes from Acts chapter 14, verse 22. Now think about it. If all the people in the Bible did not go through trials, would we know who they were? Probably not. But because of their trials, God is glorified, and we get to see and learn how God works out all things for his glory. Challenges in life are not without reason. And I get this from Psalms chapter 46, verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. And also Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. I continue. God uses each one of us by having us face trials, not to be mean, but to strengthen us. Every small trial we face strengthens us to better handle the big trials, which in turn will show the glory of God. This comes from 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 14. It reads, But even if you should suffer for righteousness' sake, you will be blessed. Have no fear of them, nor be troubled. But in your hearts honor Christ the Lord as holy, always being prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks. Anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. And I close by saying, if we focus on him and not us, it becomes much easier to make it through our trials. Let's all hold on to that truth. Have a blessed day. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We plant the seed. We sprinkle a little water on it. We let the good Lord do the growing. So share it with who you like. Don't cram it down anybody's throat. And if you have your fingers in your ear, take them out and raise up the volume. Okay, let's do some levity here. You know that sound if you're a faithful listener. That's quote time. If you can tell me who the author of these quotes are, give me a call at 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442, and you get a prize. And we have so many nice prizes. All right, quote number one. I've got 5 quotes here. Number one, I will fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. 2, now I know that only love can truly save the world, so I stay, I fight, and I give for the world I know can be. 3, when it comes to procreation, men are essential, but for pleasure, not necessary. 4, if no one else will defend the world, then I must. And 5, what one does when faced with the truth is more difficult than you'd think. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. If you know the answer to the author of those quotes, you give me a call and you'll win a prize. I don't have much time here, so since I don't have much time, I wanted to mention about, we'll talk about the popular NBA announcer and radio host who was suspended by his employer for tweeting the phrase, quote, all lives matter. Grant Napier, is that how you say it, Napier?
He tweeted this. He did not say it on the air.
Dubbed the TV voice of Sacramento Kings by local media, was placed on administrative leave by 1140 KHTK pending an investigation by the station into a controversial Twitter exchange. Amid national protests and riots promoted by Antifa and Black Lives Matter, NBA player DeMarcus Cousins tweeted at Napier, what's your take on the BLM? Black Lives Matter. He responded, hey, how are you? Thought you forgot about me. Haven't heard you in years. All lives matter, every single one. Cousins seemingly revealed the loaded intent of his query, replying, LOL, as expected. Other NBA personalities quickly involved themselves in the conversation, including former Kings star Chris Webber, who wrote, DeMarcus, the man who wrote the tweet, we know and have known who Grant is. The team knows as well. I've told them all many times. They've seen it. In an apology delivered by the Sacramento Bee, Napier said, I'm not as educated on BLM as I thought. I had no idea that when I said all lives matter, that it was counter to what BLM was trying to get across. Ladies and gentlemen, screw that. I'll say what I want to say. God bless America. Be back on the other side.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have any body to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Smile for the camera. I know I love you better. When you smile for the camera, I know I love you better.
not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Today is June 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here. I got the Colonel Rayford Brown with me. He's going to be doing the constitutional segment. If you got a question or a comment, give us a call here at 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Many ways to make contact with us as well. We've got Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It allows us to do many more things when we get the higher numbers. Twitter and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, support the sponsors who support the program. Without them, the program does not stay on the air. We've got great opportunity to reach thousands of people. If you've got a product, business, or service that wants to be promoted, we can make arrangements with you. Give us a call here. We'll talk to you about it. But until then, I've got the Colonel, Rayford Brown, talking the Constitution. Colonel, it's all yours, partner. Go ahead, sir.
All right, today we're going to go on the 17th Amendment. And before we start in this, remember that everything there is contrast. We have lawyers because we have differences of opinion, and there are multiple groups in conflict on all of these. The 17th Amendment. The Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, elected by the people thereof for 6 years, and each senator shall have 1 vote. The electors in each state shall have the qualifications requisite for electors of the most numerous branch of the state legislatures. Right? What does that mean? Electors are voters, and so the voters for the largest body, so our legislature in Texas is larger than the state Senate. So anybody that's qualified to vote for the legislature is qualified to vote for senators for the state in accordance with this. Now, we have to go back and set the stage. The senators were originally elected by the legislature of the state, and this had issues, and we'll go through that a little later, but the whole purpose was federalism. It was to give the Senate accountability to the states and to give power to the states. I continue, and I want to again thank the Heritage Foundation and their guide to the Constitution for a lot of my reading ability. On May 12th, 1912, the 17th Amendment providing for direct popular election of the Senate was approved by Congress. The requisite 3/4 of the state legislators ratified it in less than 11 months. And took 200 and some years to do it for the 27th Amendment, Senate's pay. The vote was unanimous, all 36 states. This had been festering for a long time. It was first introduced back in 1826, very shortly after the Constitution was accepted. The 36 states at that time that made up 75%, the total number of votes cast in opposition to ratification was only 191, and 152 of those came in just 2 states, Vermont and Connecticut. So there was a lot of support for the 17th Amendment. Although state ratification of the 17th Amendment came quickly and easily, congressional approval of the idea of popular election of the Senate did not. The first resolution calling for direct election of the Senate was introduced in the House of Representatives in 1826. From that date until the adoption of the 17th Amendment 86 years later, 187 subsequent resolutions of similar nature were also introduced before Congress. The House approved 6 of those proposals before the Senate gave its consent. By 1912, senators were already picked by direct election in 29 of the 48 states. As most states had gradually turned to non-binding primary elections to select their senators. State legislatures promised to vote for the candidate that the people had selected in this, quote, advisory election. This advisory election had real teeth because many state laws provided that the candidates for the state legislature had to sign pledges to vote for the U.S. Senate candidate that the people had selected in their non-binding election. Now, if the state legislature candidate refused to sign the pledge, the people would not vote or would vote against him. And so the Senate gradually became populated with people who were in effect selected by direct election. The 17th Amendment was approved and ratified to make the Constitution more democratic. Now watch that word democratic, because that's the progressives. They want one centralized government that is socialist. The states, they want to be dissolved. Progressives argued forcefully, persistently, and ultimately successfully that the democratic principle required the Senate to be elected directly by the people rather than indirectly through the state legislatures. By altering the manner of election, however, they also altered the principal mechanism employed by the framers to protect federalism, state power. Right? The framers understood that the mode of electing, and especially re-electing senators by state legislatures, made it in the self-interest of the senators to preserve the federal design and to protect the interest of the states. And that was Article 1, Section 3, Clause 1. John Adams wrote a letter that the senators being eligible by the elected by the legislatures of several states and dependent on them for re-election will be vigilant in supporting their, that's state rights, against infringement by the legislature or executive of the United States. So in practice, state legislatures' election of senators became more complicated. Members of the state legislatures were often divided over whom to elect as a senator. Many state legislatures simply voted for themselves, and their deadlock would result in no senator being chosen, which deprived the state of any representation in the Senate for a year or more. So there were issues. The Senate now more closely matches the partisan composition of the House, so we have more gridlock, which sometimes is good. Additionally, the amendment makes problematic the political process in the Senate is sufficient to protect the state sovereign interest against expansive federal legislation. And we've seen that the states have become more and more dependent on the federal government, and this is my opinion, and when we borrow money, the state legislature has to have, by our Constitution, a balanced budget. And they get around this by seeking grants from the federal government, which are nothing more than loans from we the people, because we are the finance for the federal government.
All right, good pause time there. We're going to take a break for 3 minutes. We'll be back on the other side. Give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Betros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin. I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it, let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
Here's a question from Smith Supply. Who do you turn to for guidance when it comes to cleaning, disinfecting, or pool maintenance? From janitorial supplies, paper goods, and Pool Life pool supplies, at Smith Supply, we deliver what others promise. At a time when just about anyone can offer you a good deal, Smith Supply is where you'll find the best answers and customer service. We're located at 5202 Midway Drive behind Garland Shelton Pre-Owned Center in Temple. Smith Supply has everything to clean anything.
All right, everybody in the car. Let's go.
What are we gonna do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure, if you want.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
What about a bike ride? No, I want to fish.
Oh,
I've never been fishing.
Honey, we can do it all.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not.
Is it gonna be long?
No, sweetie.
I bet it takes forever.
It's not that far.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already? No way! Come on.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, June 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here. I'm with the Colonel, Rayford Brown, and we're talking to the Constitution. And if you want to be on the show, if you got a comment, question, give us a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442.
All right. We've been talking the 17th Amendment and direct election of the senators. Now, remember that we elect senators for a 6-year term. 6 years is a long time, and stuff happens. All right, so what happens when the senator doesn't make it to the end of his term? When vacancies happen in the representation of any state,
they elect their wife.
Pardon?
They put their wife in position.
Well, that happens too, and we'll cover that in just a moment. Happened in Missouri. When vacancies happen in representation to any state in the Senate, the executive authority of such state, that would be the governor, shall issue writs of election to fill such vacancies, provided that the legislature of any state may empower the executive thereof to make temporary appointments until the people fill the vacancy by election as the legislature may direct. All right? So the next election, we have elections about every 2 years or 3 times during the term of the senator. So theoretically, the governor could make an appointment for 2 years until the next election cycle. And there may be other contingencies, and I apologize for not knowing the Texas full rule on that. We continue. The The 17th Amendment, ratified in 1913, provided for the direct election of the senators, replacing the original method. After ratification of the 17th Amendment, it was recognized that the expense and inconvenience of election by popular vote made it necessary to schedule elections for senators at regular intervals. To avoid hardship to the state suffering a lack of representation pending a regular election, the 17th Amendment also provided for methods of election or appointment to fill any unexpired term. Now, the language and history of the clause indicate that states have the power to balance conflicting goals of speedy popular election against the state's interest in conducting elections on a regular basis. Thus, when the death of Robert F. Kennedy created a vacancy in New York Senate delegation in 1968, New York was permitted to postpone the election of his replacement until 1970, rather than being required to hold both a primary and general election by the fall of '68. Following the death of a Pennsylvania senator, they were permitted to fill a vacancy by special election, with the candidates to be chosen by party conventions of the state's two major parties. The court held that the 17th Amendment did not mandate that party nominees be chosen by popular vote, so long as the actual election was by popular vote. In 2008, Roland Burris was appointed by the governor of Illinois, Rod Blagojevich, to fill President-elect Barack Obama's Senate seat. Now, Blagojevich was later impeached and imprisoned for bribery and corruption charges related to his activities in connection with filling the vacancy.
And he was just recently released due to Trump, right?
That's right. Trump pardoned him.
That's right.
And there's some question about how, if it was a party mechanism that put him in jail and he was railroaded.
It seems like it.
Yeah, there seems to be, again, multifaceted information here. Okay, going back. The court found no violation of the 17th Amendment when a special election was not called before the regular scheduled general election, but it found that a writ of election must be issued. And as an election judge, I receive those regularly from Bell County. All right, a joint resolution proposing amendment to the Constitution of the United States relative to election of senator. Anyway, the ethical and legal elections of congressional transactions. These are some of the laws that have been passed to when the Congress was given the authority to enact the 17th Amendment. Now, the clause does not define when a vacancy exists. So during the 2000 election, the people of Missouri knowingly voted for the deceased Mel Carnahan. The governor declared this election to have created a vacancy, which he filled by appointing Carnahan's widow, and he then issued a writ of election for 2 years later, for 2002. It remains open question, however, whether the voters can create a Senate vacancy by knowingly voting for an ineligible candidate and allowing the governor to fill the position with an individual of his choice, as opposed to simply declaring the votes to be improper or spoiled ballots.
So we're talking a convenient loophole here.
We're talking about people are imperfect, and you can't legislate morality. So only
they try.
A moral
They
and just
sure as
people.
heck try, don't they?
We try. Okay. So then, renewed interest in Senate vacancy clause has arisen because of the controversy surrounding the appointment of Burris and the Massachusetts legislature's political machinations to assure a Democratic appointee after the death of longtime Senator Edward Kennedy. Bills were considered that would have seated only senators who were elected by the people. This is a big thing. If you remember, Senator Kennedy died of a brain tumor, and so in Massachusetts. Anyway, the required writ of election to be issued when it was inconsistent with procedures set up by the state legislature. Others have debated whether Congress has the authority to require states to establish uniform procedures to fill vacancies or whether a constitutional amendment is necessary. So, as we stated, this is what keeps lawyers in business. Nice controversy.
Controversy. There you go. All right, Colonel. So that's it for that one. What about tomorrow? What's coming up on tomorrow? Give me a little teaser.
Tomorrow, well, shall we talk about beer?
We can always talk about beer.
We're getting into the prohibition era.
There we go. We talk about legislating morality.
That's it.
That's it. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we don't got much time for this segment, so I wanted to do some announcements here. I had mentioned before, with all this going on, I'm getting tons of phone calls. Aaron's Gun Shop. I'm an instructor, licensed carry instructor. I've been doing guns since I'm 4 years old. I'm 57 now. I've been teaching thousands of people. I mean, I've got lots of tricks up my short sleeves here, and I just love to share it. And because of that, if a church shooting happens, I get calls from the churches. If a school shooting happens, I get a call from the teachers. If a riot goes on, I get calls from the people. If a rapist is around, I get called from mostly women. So this is no different. I'm getting calls. So I've got classes. I've got a license to carry class on June 13th. I've still got a couple spots left. I'd hurry. Just give me an email at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com. Tell me that you heard it and you're interested. Take the class. I'll give you confirmation. We'll lock you into the class. I'll give you the details later. It's June 13th. If you have a group of your own and June 13th doesn't work, of 5 or more, I can set something up for you as well. So make contact with me. Also, on the 20th of June, I have an advanced training seminar. I basically book 3 dates a year, but I do it many times through the year when groups of people of 5 or more call me and they want to set something up. But this is advanced training. This is self-defense, home invasion types of seminar. I've got Bill Huffman, the executive producer, going to be giving a little segment on it for first aid, immediate first aid. So if you go to aaronsgunshop.com and go to the High Cap Adventure page, you'll see there in the top left-hand corner, doesn't have everything on it exactly because this is a new segment with the medical part of it, but you'll get a general idea of what it's going to cover. And if you want to sign up for that, give me an email at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com, and we'll get you set up, okay? If you were to go to Pahrump, Nevada for this, you'd be paying thousands of dollars. Trust me, it's nowhere as close to that if you go through me. It's a fraction of a fraction, probably of a fraction of the cost of what it would take for you to go to Pahrump. But we do the same thing. We just don't do it. We do it in 1 day as compared to 2 days, and get a barbecue lunch. The whole works. It's a really good time. Everybody has a blast when they're doing it, no pun intended. So check it out. The 13th is the license to carry. June 20th is the seminar. Give me an email at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com. Other than that, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue on. We want to talk about some contact tracing, good or bad. Let's talk about it. See what's on your mind there. 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Don't forget to stream us live at logicnation.us. Social medias at Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio. Twitter and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. And I think we'll have Bill Huffman, our executive producer, in the studio by that time. So we'll see you in about 3 minutes, and we'll start it all over.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad and names and numbers.
Hey, y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. And we have Bill Huffman me back from the dentist.
I'm the dentist, but I'm okay.
Bill Huffman, executive producer. Welcome back to the show, Bill. I know you had a dental appointment, and all is well, I hope.
All is well. All is well that ends well.
Okay.
And I'm happy to be back. I've been listening to you guys this morning. Been a little flammable, but I like that.
If you want to be on the show, give us a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. And stream us live at logicnation.us. Social media is Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio, Twitter and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. I've got Mark on the line from Belton, and Mark wants to talk about legal assembly. Mark, it's a pleasure. I was telling the Colonel, I'm surprised you haven't called sooner. I figured some of the topics we had talked about you would have called sooner, but then he told me your phone is incapacitated.
Is this that, Mark?
Mark, you with me?
Yeah, absolutely. What's going on, gentlemen?
How's it going, buddy? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I had a phone issue this morning. I should have called y'all when you first opened up. No, the stand your ground law. Now, I haven't been on the street and seen the law book since 2009, so this may have been updated a little bit. But the right of assembly, when we can't rely on the police or the sheriff's department, whoever, to get to your location, Texas citizens have a right to defend their property, whether it be your vehicle, your family, your home property, your business, other people's property. In other words, we're almost citizen police officers in legal terms in this state up to a point that people don't seem to understand. We're not like other states. A few states have kind of followed our example in this regard. but we are in effect the backup to the police. I mean, it's just part of what we do here in Texas. I mean, point, guys, the protest yesterday, and I was in a place earlier with the news was on, and they had the top of the hour feeds and all that stuff. And, there was over 60,000 protesters in Houston yesterday. They had over 5,000 HPD officers out. They had corrections officers out. They had, of course, DPS had their riot guys down. There were some National Guard troops. Not a single incident happened in Houston yesterday, and yet it didn't make a single major news feed this morning. All you heard about and all we're hearing about are the ones that did cause problems for people who got hurt. This is a propaganda push to tear this country up, as we've talked about many times in the past. Guys, it makes my blood boil to hear this kind of crap. I'm, been helping the police all my entire life, career officer, prior service member, all this stuff, and it just irritates me beyond belief that I think you said earlier, Matt, that the officers don't stand up against the other officers. Well, there where y'all are, or where you are, I was hired to watch two particular officers. But the minute I tried to correct them from doing something, I got my little butt in trouble. So, there are officers that stand up, but you do get there are repercussions. I finally lost my job over that, 8 years later. But it's really hard once you're within that group with that mindset. You're one of the group, or you're an outsider. It's getting worse by the day too. They're separating the officers from each other, and they're separating the officers from the citizens. And it's if you work within that genre, you see it on a daily basis.
Mark, we live on planet Earth. We're all Christians. That you, me, people in this room. I don't know about everybody out there. I mean, there's a lot of Christians out there. But look, we must maintain ourselves, because if we give ourselves up to who we are and what we believe and how to stand our ground and to do things that are proper, we lose ourselves. Now, I know there's politics in everything we do. I can't get around that. We live on this planet, this earth, and there's politics. But us is who we are. What you've done and what you just said about supposed to look over a couple officers and you got in trouble for it, you stood your ground, man. You kept your character. It's hard. It's difficult for us, people like us. And I read my devotionals talking about that too. It's very challenging to maintain your ground. And I commend you for that. And for all the other officers to do that as well, because some of us, we've got to stand the ground whether it hurts us or not, because if we don't, it's going to collapse totally and it's going to be lost forever. So I commend you and people like you who stand your ground and stick to it and keep pushing it there, like the Colonel Bill, myself. I mean, I look at the mirror and look at myself. I say, am I doing enough? And I question myself if I'm doing enough. And I think sometimes I don't do enough due to ignorance, lack of knowledge on a situation, so I'm hesitant to do stuff. But if you're passionate and you know what you're talking about, continue on, and it will come around to favor you one way or another.
Well, let me just add this to the equation. You do the best you can do daily. Like I said, you guys know I had a own radio show back in the early 90s for a couple of years, and I would start every show, as you do, with a devotional, and then say it starts as you're brushing your teeth, looking yourself in the mirror tomorrow morning. That's where it starts. If you can't start with yourself, nothing else is going to matter. And I'm back to my favorite topic. We have 4, now almost 5 generations that have been taught that the government is there. Government's basically your daddy.
That's right.
The government's there to take care of you. The government's the end-all, be-all. And citizens basically have no authorities or no rights to do anything themselves without government interference or government help. And this is the problem as I see it. These younger people, what they're doing is anarchy, plain and simple.
Plain and simple.
If you want to get out and march and peaceably say something, that's fine. But we had, the career officer was murdered outside the pawn shop by these anarchists. It's not making the news anywhere. We've had over 50 officers injured. There's been 2 or 3 officers killed. There's 4 or 5 officers in critical condition. That's not being talked about. Where's the outrage?
You know why it's not being talked about? Because if people heard about it, they say, that's enough. Right now, they're saying, well, the police got it. It's no big deal. They're just busting windows. It's not my window they busted. They're not promoting it because it goes against the grain as to what they're trying to promote. I totally agree with you. I got a hard break. Mark, I appreciate the call. We'll be back in 3 minutes. See you on the other side.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family-owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, quickwrenchautomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas, and our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Art Coons, the owner of ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to ANC Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. ANC Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Water is the absolute worst thing for your driveway. It seeps below the surface and erodes the base, which leads to cracks and uneven slabs of concrete. Call the Driveway Company. Our certified concrete specialists will lift, fill, and seal your driveway, keeping it beautiful for years to come and saving you thousands of dollars. Call today for a free inspection.
The Driveway Company.
Call today at 293-SEAL, 293-SEAL.
It's getting near dawn.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Thought we'd add a little cream to your coffee there. I should have been a DJ, man.
Oh, God. We suddenly we all wish you had.
Okay. Touche. June 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host. I got Bill Huffman, executive producer. You know, it's amazing when they take all that dental stuff out of your mouth, you just start talking, don't you?
You know what?
I got the Colonel, Rayford Brown. I got Shane Currington, the Titan of Tech, in with us. Shane, we're going to be talking to you. The mic is yours when you're ready. But I want to talk about Rosenstein in a couple of segments. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about something here. It makes my skin start to ripple, okay? And I've mentioned it in a couple of days now. And that's kneeling. White people kneeling to black people.
White guilt.
Now listen, there's a couple scenarios here. I want to make it clear. White people kneeled in front of blacks. Blacks started crying and praying. They knelt down. And they all said prayer together. Okay, fine, that's happy. But can I say damn on the air? I'll be damned if I'm going to kneel and apologize for something I didn't do when it comes to slavery 200 years ago and what's been going on. Because, look, I come from a town where it was integrated. I got along with everybody. Wasn't a problem. We all worked jobs. We did what it took. We helped each other out. We watched each other back. I'm not kneeling for nobody. Now, I'll do whatever it takes to back your six up. And if you don't know what that means is covering your six, I'll be making sure nobody's coming up from the rear to hurt you. Okay, that's why I'm a sheepdog. I like to. I don't know what it is. I'm one of those protector type of people. Okay, but I'm not gonna kneel. I've got 2 stories here. White people kneel, ask for forgiveness for whiteness.
That, in and of itself, is racist.
Go on.
You know,
Bill.
all of a
Here's
sudden,
a
no,
paper sack.
you know what it is? It's the damned FCC rules, because I can express myself fairly eloquently, but to try and do it without profanity can be a challenge. My friends used to say, it's not that I don't have a good vocabulary, it's that I'm a passionate blank, blank, blank. But you know what? If you think that you as a white person can go to this guy as a black person and apologize for all the white people things that white people did to the black people, stuff about the black people things, then you are the problem. You are the racist. I don't give a damn what color his skin is. I don't give a damn what color my skin is. I grew up as a half-breed in South Austin. Let me tell you, I had 3 choices. I could either be black, I could be Mexican, or I could be really fast. I am not really fast, y por eso tenía que ser un mexicano. Pero me lo sirvió bien para años, because my homies had me. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care what color you are.
That's right.
It's all
Makes no difference
crap.
to me.
And
it
if
has
you're,
to do with respect, man.
Oh, God,
I
if
respect you. You respect me.
If you're buying that pablum, you're part of the problem.
All right, let me read this one article. We'll take a break and I'll continue.
Sorry,
on
not
this
that I
segment.
lost
that's
it or
good.
anything. No.
So white people kneel, ask forgiveness for whiteness. Whites in Houston's 3rd Ward ask a group of black people to forgive them for racism. White men and women knelt and asked forgiveness for their whiteness during a prayer sermon in Houston Monday. In a bizarre display prompted by the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis, whites in Houston's 3rd Ward asked a group of black people to forgive them for racism. Black people in the community reportedly accepted the apology and later joined them in prayer. The powerful moment, as described by KPRC, was followed by protests where violent rioters had to be dispersed by police using tear gas, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm reading it because, once again, ain't doing it. Ain't doing it. I'll pick you up. I'll protect you. I'll back you up. I'll support you if it's all legitimate. And hopefully you'll do the same thing for me, but I'll be damned if I'm going to say and get down on my knee and apologize for something that happened before. We're moving on.
You racist.
If that's racism, then I guess I'm a racist, but I'm not going to do it. That's it. I stand my ground, buddy. Give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Look, you know, if I'm willing to put my life on the line to help defend somebody else, I don't want to hear your crap, okay? That's it, man. I don't want to hear your crap.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, I talked about on Saturday, you know, how do we become more of a colorblind society? And the way we do that is by not caring about what the color of someone's skin is. It has nothing to do with forgiveness of being white or whatever. It has to do with not caring how the other person looks.
And it's so to the point what Martin Luther King Jr. said. Don't judge a person based on their color, based on their character.
Yes.
On their character.
That's right.
All right, and that's what it all comes down to, respect, character. We're going to take a break, be back in 3, see you on the other side.
Some knowledge belongs to us and us alone. The way our girlfriends walk, the way they talk, the way they touch their hair. We hold details that only a sister can know about her girls. But what about our other girls? The ones that we carry with us every day. Can we describe them when everything's right? Can we feel when something's wrong? Our bond with our sister girls gives life. But knowing your breasts can save it. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. That's knowyourgirls.org. Brought to you by Susan G. Coleman and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi. Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Matt, your host here. We got the house full. We got Shane Currington, the Titan of Tech, Bill Huffman, executive producer, and we've got the Colonel, Rayford Brown. I've got Con on the line as well.
And
So
he's
Con,
drinking coffee. Look out.
I got Con on the line. Con, give me a second. If you want to be on the show, give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Let me see what Con's got to say. I appreciate the call. Thanks for listening. What's on your mind, Con? Well, Con?
Well, my question is, how many years, how many tax dollars, how many federal laws will it take for us to finally get over the slave days? You know, we're reaching the point of idiocy. We have got hate crime laws. We've got affirmative action laws. We've got endless federal dollars spent in preparation for slave days. What about preparation for the Chinese coolies? It was cheaper to kill them than it was to pay them. What about preparation for the Irish? They were sent into areas it was too dangerous to send a $2,000 slave.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
You know, when are we going to get over slave days?
Well, I agree, Con.
Well, let me take a stab at this. I don't think we'll ever get over it until, the generation of Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and some of these others have basically died, because as long as they're living in the past, we as a country are not able to move on, and that's part of the problem. Is there's a lot of people that are just living in the past and aren't able to move on.
You know, you make a good point, Shane. They're living in the past. These people should be praised. Those people should be praised and say, look what you did for the younger generation. You have enabled this country to give them a great opportunity for prosperity.
Yeah.
President Trump has given the lowest unemployment rate for the black community since I don't know when.
Yep.
Wages were going up. Country's growing, business growing, so on and so forth. You can go in the military, you get a job, you can open a business, you can do all this kind of stuff. God bless America for the opportunity it is. But yet you continue to bring this slave crap stuff up. And I don't mean it in that sense. I'm saying today, It's not necessary today. Back in the day, it was terrible, should never have been done, but I wasn't there. So I'm not going to kneel. I'm not going to apologize. I say lock arms, unite, and let's move on together and succeed together.
Yeah, but to answer Khan's question, I don't think there's any law that you could pass. I don't think there's any number of laws that you could pass. I don't think there's enough money in reparations that you could give that would appease these people. They will keep bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up. Why? Because A, they make money off of it. That's how they live. But that's what keeps, the society in check, so to speak. That's what keeps, us white people in position. You know what I mean?
I think the progressive left answer to reparation for slave days is to deport all the white people, get them all out of here, and turn America into the next version of Rwanda. I guess that would please all of the progressive left. Just get rid of all the white people and let's turn the nation over to black folks. And let me say now, I see an emerging number of very good, very smart black people like Burgess Owens and Jason Riley and David Webb and people like that. But they are so outnumbered by the ignorant masses that only want to, I don't know, I don't know if they want to kill all the white people. I don't know what they want to do.
You know what drives me crazy, Con? You know what drives me crazy is the necessity.
How evil white men are.
What drives me,
we've
Con?
taken this to the ridiculous, idiot, bitter end. We're destroying America, folks.
Con, what drives me crazy? Hold up, Con.
You don't have to destroy America in order to get reparation for slave days. When are we going to get over that idea?
What drives me crazy is me having to go, or somebody having to say, or you having to say, now look at Candace Owens, she's black. Why do we have to say that? Why can't we just say, listen to Candace Owens? She's doing a great job doing what she's doing. Why does color always have to come into it?
Because we're falling into their game and playing identity politics.
We're falling into
what a sack
trap.
of crap. And by the way, Con, I've got an answer to your question about how much is it going to cost for reparations. According to the president of BET, he has calculated $14 trillion will do it. Now, for those of you...
Okay.
Yeah. So could you get out your checkbook, please? Just start writing zeros. I'll tell you when to quit. So in case you're curious what a trillion is, a million seconds ago was 11 days. A billion seconds ago was 1988. And a trillion seconds ago was 29,000 BC.
Be back in 3.
Completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Matt, your host here. It's June 3rd, 2020. I've got the Colonel, Rayford Brown, executive producer Bill Huffman, and the Titan of Tech, Shane Currington, with me. If you want to be on the show, give me a call at 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social media is at Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio, Twitter, and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. We were talking about what's it going to take to get this over with when it comes to people saying, you know, we need to take care of the blacks because of slavery. And then Bill brought up the price tag from the president of BET. What is it?
BET.
Black Entertainment?
Yeah, Black Entertainment Television.
And
yeah.
I guess you guys did your mathematical equations and figured out what it would be per person?
Yeah, pretty much. We pulled up the last census and we said, okay, well, how many African Americans are there in this country? Okay, according to the last census. So we came up with this number. Okay, so the Black Entertainment Television CEO or whatever said 14 trillion, right? Would do reparation, would cover it, right? Well, we looked up, according to the last census, there's give or take 4,640,000 African Americans. Okay, so we did the math.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it, according to the last census. So according to those numbers, each person would get just a shade over $3 million per person for reparations. If we stuck to those numbers.
It might be worth doing it if it would shut it up once and for all.
Yeah, but you know what? $14 trillion is almost the entire U.S. debt. And,
Shane, it doesn't matter.
Only 2/3, but
it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does matter.
No, it doesn't.
Because I wasn't there and I don't want to pay for it.
The American dollar is like a Dorito. They'll just keep making more.
Well, I know, but I've never heard it put like that, but that's funny.
Jay Leno did that commercial. He goes, keep eating it. We'll make more.
Yeah, we'll make more.
We'll make more.
But here's the thing, though. I wasn't there, and I don't want to have to pay the taxes on this.
I agree. I was making a joke.
I know you were. I know you're just playing devil's advocate, but that's the reality and the truth of the matter is I wasn't there. I wasn't responsible for it. Why should I have to pay for it? That's the reality.
Let's put this on a more current terms. Let's put this on like saying, hey, something happened to you. It wasn't my fault that it happened to you. Why should I have to pay for repairs on your house?
Yeah.
I could say I might want to pay and help you pay because you're my neighbor. I want to just say I'll contribute a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's my personal being.
Yes.
But when it comes to where I'm being forced to do something, I don't buy it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to get on my knee. Speaking of knees.
Oh, okay.
Woman gets on her knees. Easy now.
I'm not touching
Is this another Monica Lewinsky story? Because that's old news.
I'm not touching that.
Hey, I'm just reading the freaking headline, man. Woman kneels on demand in the street to apologize for her white privilege.
Wow. On demand?
On demand.
You're kidding.
I saw the video.
Okay.
If it's true and it's not made up, the woman's walking down the street. This guy, supposedly from Black Lives Matters. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You can see his fingerprint. Excuse me. It kind of startles the woman.
Yeah.
He starts asking the question, and then basically this is what he says. A video clip shows a woman immediately obeying a black man's request to kneel on her feet which doesn't make sense, in the street and apologized for her white privilege. It's possible that the man I don't know, the way she looked startled, it may have been legitimate. I don't know. But he goes, could you please just apologize for your white privilege? Just apologize, asked the man. The woman initially struggles for words before saying, I'm incredibly sorry before the man asks her to denounce Donald Trump, whom he refers to as Donald Duck. Thank you for letting me have the moment to apologize, the woman states before leaving. And throughout the interaction, the man is using hand gestures as if he was directing a dog or so on.
That's such a load of crap. There is no such thing as white privilege. And here's why. This is a cruel world, okay? This world does not care what color skin you are, what your ethnicity, what your religious background, anything. This world does not care. You still have to be able to make a living and support yourself, and the world at large does not care.
Now, Shane, I got a debate with you.
Okay.
You and I and the people in this room are on the same mindset. We don't see color, but there's a ton of people out there who do see color, and shame on them for that.
Yeah.
However, even with that, I'm not going to kneel and say, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
What we need to do is, like I said before, and that is unite and interlock one another and say, hey, listen, for those who are still pushing the racist card, stop it.
Yeah.
But there is people, because I know lots of people of color, okay, in many different races, and they tell me all the time, they say, yeah, there's prejudice out there. And I go, I believe it. I've seen it myself.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to apologize for it. We need to stand up and keep pushing these people down.
No, I'm not
pushing racism.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's not bias and prejudice and other things like that. But what I'm saying is when we're all born, we're all born with basically a level playing field that we have to find a way to survive. Yeah, I know the economics of each family might be different, and yada yada yada.
No, I'll back you up because I had bad economics when I was growing up. I went in the military.
Yeah.
I got myself squared away. I did what I had to do.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. And on the playing field of life, you have to figure out a way to survive. You have to figure out a way to feed yourself, feed your family. You have to find a way to do all the things necessary to survive in this world. Okay, and the world at large does not care what the color of your skin is. If you don't work to make a living, you're going to starve, right?
That's
if
right.
you don't breathe, you're going to suffocate, okay? If you don't swim in the ocean or whatever, you're going to drown.
When you put
the
it in
laws of physics and the laws of humanity are the same across the board.
When you put it in those terms, yes, absolutely. But then when you take it out of those terms and you put it in when somebody's trying to get a job, there's going to be the racist fool there who's going to give a hassle to a person of color. So the only thing I'm saying is I'm not disregarding their comments because they are true.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I'd be darned if I'm going to apologize for it. Now, look.
I know.
Let me get John on the line. He's got a comment. So, John, appreciate you listening. Thanks for the call. What's on your mind?
I was going to say, if we're going to pay $14 trillion to African Americans, I want them to pay $28 trillion to the Jewish people for enslaving the Jews in Egypt.
Well, how about
That's a good point.
How about the Japanese?
Yeah.
World War II. Yeah. I mean, this is ridiculous.
I mean, the Germans paid the Jews, for internment camps then.
Yeah.
No, why not just flip it back on them again, going, hey, y'all did this, 600 years.
Sometimes injustices happen, and they need to be corrected and prosecuted and all that, and taken care of it according to the way our laws are. We can't be doing this. We have to move on. We have to lock arms and say we're united and move forward. That's how we overcome this. When we start seeing the race card come out, look, I won't put up with it. If somebody comes into my shop and starts spewing out words like that, I'm like, forget it, pal. It's over. It's done. I will not tolerate it. I do not accept it. And if we all did that, people will start shutting their mouths. John, I appreciate the call. I got to take a hard break. We'll be back in 3. Terry, I'll be up with you in just a minute. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Petros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin. I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it, let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
Here's a question from Smith Supply. Who do you turn to for guidance when it comes to cleaning, disinfecting, or pool maintenance? From janitorial supplies, paper goods, and Pool Life pool supplies, at Smith Supply, we deliver what others promise. At a time when just about anyone can offer you a good deal, Smith Supply is where you'll find the best answers and customer service. We're located at 5202 Midway Drive behind Garland Shelton Pre-Owned Center in Temple. Smith Supply has everything to clean anything.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And, with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have any body to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Matt, your host here, June 3rd, 2020. Give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. I've got Terry on the line. Terry, stand by 1 second. I got Shane with me, Bill Huffman, the Colonel. And you can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio, Twitter and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. And don't forget to stream us live at logicnation.us. We got some good topics going on, lots of great calls. And I'm not an instigator of topics to get calls, ladies and gentlemen. These are things.
Yes, he is. Don't let him lie. He is.
No, these are things that are passionate on my heart.
Man stirs it with a golden stick.
He sure does, doesn't he?
You know, put a little diesel in the barrel. If you just keep stirring it, it will burn.
But that's why I'm saying this. I want to make it perfectly clear. I'm not trying to stir up a pot to get phone calls. I'm on the radio. I've got topics. I see things that bother me. I talk about them, and I talk about them with passion. And with the passion, results with phone calls, and Terry is one of them. So let me get Terry on the line, see what he's got to say. Terry, stand by. I appreciate the call. Thanks for listening. What's on your mind, buddy?
Good afternoon, first off. I just wanted to make remarks about something and just kind of share with people because this is very important. I grew up in Houston, on the north side of Houston, real close to downtown Houston.
Okay.
I was a minority. I did not, according to the police, I was picked up, harassed, and everything else because I was a white kid, and the only reason I was there is to do wrong. And I just want to tell the audience that that's very false, because all my friends and everything else, we were together. So what happens is people get tunnel vision. They have blinders on, and they don't see it. I'm talking about the police. I'm talking about everything, even neighbors. But as a young man living that life that you're harassed, and I'm a white boy. I mean, I'm white. The white privilege is not there. I do not understand that.
You know, I know where you're coming from, Terry. I know where you're coming from. I was raised in a city that had 52% black population. I lived 100% in the 52% side. And I have so many friends of color, and we worked together in harmony, and we protected each other, and we helped each other. We laughed with each other. We had games with each other on the street. Law enforcement, we worked together with law enforcement. It's a game, and the game is the people. It's the game that the people who are trying to push the racism aspect of it, they're trying to divide and conquer because they got an agenda.
Exactly.
So that's what it is. We've got to be aware that that's the agenda. Go ahead.
And, brother, I just tell you this, and I mean this with all my heart and soul. It's a decision that an individual makes in their heart to be radical on the left or radical on the right, period. It's a decision that you make before your Lord and Savior to say that I hate this person, and I'm going to tell you something else real quick. I know you got a little bit of time, but God made man in his own image. And I'm asking the populace right now, everybody that's listening, how can you say that you love Jesus or if you love God and you got hatred towards another person because they have different culture, skin color, or whatever? How in the world can you really believe that you are sanctified and saved and everything else? Everybody needs to wake up about this because it's nothing but a bold-faced lie from Satan. And everybody needs to wake up and realize that. I'm sorry I'm taking up so much time.
Oh, no, those are good words.
Enjoy your program. Y'all are awesome people. And you keep pressing, brother. You do it.
I appreciate the call, Terry. Thanks for the call, and I agree with you. All right. Yeah, that's right. You know, you may disagree with people. You may not like certain characteristics. You may get annoyed. You may get irritated. That's totally contrary to hate, okay? That's just the human nature. And so we try to overcome those challenges by patience and all that. But the hate for another human, I want you to go watch Nazi torture videos, okay? Watch what a human can do to a human who's possessed with evil, all right?
Oh, it's unimaginable.
It's
unspeakable.
unbelievable.
Yes.
So if you're filled with the Spirit, you better pay attention to that Spirit because that's what's going to save this planet until the good Lord comes.
Well, think about it like this. You know, when you read Genesis chapter 1, God created man in our image, right?
His image, yeah.
Yep. So think about it like this. It doesn't matter if we're black, white, brown, yellow with blue polka dots, right? We're all created in God's image, and we should act as such.
You know, you're saying that, and then we had this discussion behind the microphone about how we can bridge the gap.
Yeah.
It's perfect illustration. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who may have a tendency to lean towards racism because of, I don't know, upbringing or just things that have happened to you, step back a second and understand that people are pushing these agendas because it's divide and conquer. If they can keep us occupied hating each other, they can continue to move on. And then they are the deep state, the people behind the curtain, the people with an agenda to take over this country. You may think that's a tinfoil hat comment, but it's not, ladies and gentlemen. You look, if you pay attention to the history, the people in play, what has been written, read the white papers from these people that write the books about it, that's the agenda. The agenda is to conquer this country, and you can only do it by taking God out of school, taking God out of family, breaking up the family.
Or hate the Jews.
Somebody, you got to hate somebody, right?
You got to hate somebody. You got to have a target.
Why?
Eventually, we're going to get tired of being the puppets. We're going to get tired of watching this movie that they're playing for us, you know, and it's the manipulation is so obvious. It's so in your face, and we just choose not to see it, you know? And they say, well, you know what? I think you ought to be really mad about them black folks doing that. And we go, oh,
Here's a
okay.
perfect illustration. Look, now the title of the episode eludes me. I'm sure if there's a Trekkie out there, you can square me away. I'm trying to think. It's in the back of my head. There's an episode where Klingons and humans are on the Enterprise because the Earthlings blew up the Klingon ship because they thought they did something bad. They're all on the Enterprise, and the Entity is playing on the racism of Klingons versus Earthlings, and the fight continues, and it battles on. And when somebody gets hurt, they get healed real quick so they can continue the fight. And then they finally realize it's an outside force manipulating the thoughts of people to continue the hate. And once they realize that and they stop hating each other, the Entity is forced to leave. It's the same concept here. People in the outside are forcing us to think, and the media pushes divide and conquer, hate.
And it works so well.
It works so well
Yep, it
because we
does.
take it hook, line, and sinker.
I've got another wild thought for you, folks. You know, you always hear, my big sticking point is when you talk about first responders, you are the first responders. So you might want to think about getting organized. You might want to think about how do we mutually assist each other? How do we take care of each other? How do we check on each other? How do you know when your neighbor is getting into a bad spot and needs a little assistance? Do you wait until you see the police cars pull up and then you go, oh, I wish he'd have called me. I'd have been right over there, kick their butt. Yeah, well, maybe if he had your phone number, he'd have called you. So I'm just putting it out there. Pay attention. Pay attention to the people around you. It's God, what is the proper name for it? Mutual assistance.
Watching your back, covering your six.
Yeah, but there's a
neighborhood watch, friend
there's a-
helping friend.
there's
Love
a
your neighbor.
term.
Love your neighbor. Yeah.
Would y'all stop? There's a term that the militia uses. Mutual
ace.
Yeah, something. Anyhow, we're going to talk more about this because I think it's important.
I
And,
want to talk about the governor spending $15 per person for a contract to trace COVID contacts. And how are they going to trace the contacts of all these rioters?
Well, no, Colonel, that's a good segue because we're about 30 seconds away from a break. Reiterate what you just said because we'll hit that when we come back.
Okay. Governor Abbott, without any authority from the legislature, just made a $300 million contract with a little company that hasn't ever had a contract over $2 million before to track, and without doing any investigation to see if the company had the ability to do this, to track all the COVID contacts. And what good is it? They'll be well before they ever get it. If they will have had the disease and either be dead or healed long before the contact tracing can take effect.
You know, Colonel, like I said before a couple of breaks ago, if God's running the show doing 4473s when it comes to guns and he's doing contact tracing, I got no problem with it. But he's not. Okay, that's why I got a problem with it.
It's a gross violation of our Fourth Amendment right to privacy. And when they start taking cell phones, and they're going to take your cell phone trace, and then they're going to track all the cell phones around you to see what you bounced into, and then they're going to contact those people. We have two restaurants in Temple.
We're going to be back in 3 minutes. We'll talk about it more. See you on the other side. 866-89-LOGIC.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin. Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve. What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad and names and numbers.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work.
Sorry, I'm late.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Matt, your host here. It's 866-89-LOGIC. If you want to be on the show, give me a call. I've got Marcus on the line. We're going to get right to him because we got a lot of stuff to go on before the end of the show. So, Marcus, stand by. Let me get you set up here, and I appreciate you calling. Thanks for listening. What's on your mind, buddy?
Hey, man, I just wanted to take this opportunity to remind you of a mutually assured phrase that all the people that were Cold War babies grew up with, and that was mutually assured destruction.
Yeah.
So, we always used that. We heard that, and it was shoved down our throats as children because that's why we needed a lot more nukes, right?
That's right.
Just to make sure we got enough nukes to wipe them off the face of the planet if they ever start something. So I think that people need to remember that, right? That phrase was ingrained into our psyches if you were a Cold War baby, because you heard it all the time, right? When they used to have air raid drills and, fallout shelters and all those things have gone by the wayside, right? So people have, of this younger generation, I don't think they grew up with that phrase, right? So different generations have different influences in their life, right?
Well, I'm a little confused, Marcus. Apply what you're saying, which I understand, but apply it to what the discussion was, what we had before the break. I'm losing the connection.
Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What was the connection? I lost the connection you had from what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but I lost the connection of how it was to what we were talking about before the break.
Well, when people talk about, caring about your neighbors and looking out for each other and stuff like that, you have to put that on a global scale also. not just your next door neighbor, but your neighbors in Mexico, your neighbors.
Well, sure, it's just like you're going from your ward, your district, your county, your state. I mean, it's the same concept. You're going to go from country to country to continent to continent. You got to think about it. Yeah, I get that point. Sure.
Well, I just wanted to remind you, that people of my age and your age,
hey, now, wait a minute.
Heard. Well, what we heard as children is totally different from what these people are hearing.
Yeah.
Right. And me, I was all about it, man. I said, when I was a kid, I was a military brat, and man, I wanted my daddy to have the best dang piece of garbage to die in there was available, right? So, I was all about it. I wanted, yeah, man, you want to spend another $1 million on a tank? Go ahead, man, because I want my daddy to have the best tank.
Well, of course, we all want the best for our people out there. But, Marcus, look, I got short on time. I got other callers. Let me go. I appreciate the call. Thanks for making that point. I got Tom on the line. Tom wants to talk rioting. Tom, what's going on, buddy?
Good morning. Yeah, I was just going to comment to you on all this shenanigans that's going on nationally. I'm 77 years old, and I really am getting tired of hearing about how the minorities need assistance so that they can get equal. I think hard work is what makes them equal, and then they become colorless. Nobody cares what color their skin is, as long as they apply themselves like everybody else. I didn't get it given to me. I haven't given it to my children. But I can tell you that in my entire adult life, I'm a white male, I've always been third class. The preferences go first to minorities. Since the Civil Rights Act, everything you do, the minorities get the edge. They can score lower college SAT scores to get into good colleges than a white male. And then comes the females. Since Title X, the females have the upper hand. So if you're
well, hold on, Tom. I think you're missing a category. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 3 would be people coming from another country opening up a business. They get tax benefits, the whole works. And so you and I, if we open up a business, we've got to do it from scratch on our own. Women get benefits. Minorities get benefits, just like you said. Foreigners get benefits and all that. So, yes, you're right. I totally agree. I do not argue one bit with what you're saying. Hard work takes the color out of everything.
Right, correct. So, my neighbors are minorities, some of my neighbors. Others are white. They're Orientals. I don't even know what they are. I don't pay attention to what they are. It's what they have accomplished. My next door neighbor, who is an African American, and his wife are black. So what? His name, it doesn't mean anything. The fact that he's black.
And let's make another comment, Tom. Too. Let's make another comment too. I don't want people to think this. I mean, even if you aren't as successful as somebody else, there's no color involved either, as long as you're respectful, courteous, and a decent human being. But if you're a piece of scum and you're a dirtbag and an idiot, I mean, I can't help you there. I can't fix stupid,
That's
or a
exactly
thug.
Right. That's the way it's been my entire life. I'm 77. I have friends of all colors and races. I have daughters-in-law who are from Europe. And, none of that means anything. It's what they can accomplish. It's how accomplished they are, and how well they carry themselves in society.
There you go. All right, Tom, I appreciate the call. I got a hard break here. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and we'll come back and we'll continue on. Appreciate the call. 866-89-LOGIC.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, Family owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, quickwrenchautomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas, and our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Art Coons, the owner of A&C Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to A&C Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. A&C Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Water is the absolute worst thing for your driveway. It seeps below the surface and erodes the base, which leads to cracks and uneven slabs of concrete. Call the Driveway Company. Our certified concrete specialists will lift, fill, and seal your driveway, keeping it beautiful for years to come and saving you thousands of dollars. Call today for a free inspection.
The Driveway Company.
Call today at 293-SEAL, 293-SEAL.
Back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Matt, your host here. It's June 3rd, 2020.
Shane Currington says no more Crazy Train. Scared the crap right out of him.
Yeah, I need to change my pants now. Thank you, Bill.
Give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social medias at Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio, Twitter and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. Look, I don't want to waste any time. We're talking contact tracing, and we're talking... Help me here.
Well, we were going to talk about Rosenstein.
Okay.
Wash your hands.
Rosenstein or Rosenstein?
We were going to talk about him a little bit, but then on the break, we were talking about this New York sheriff that knelt, in response to being asked to kneel with the protesters. So what do you want to talk about? Rosenstein?
The Colonel's chomping at the bit here.
Oh,
go ahead,
let
Colonel.
him go then. Go,
right.
Go, Colonel.
A few days ago, we talked about Governor Abbott exceeding his constitutional authority to do things. Under the Constitution, Article 3, Section 62, he's only authorized to move the legislature from Austin to some safer location and then call a special session. If he can't do that, then he just doesn't have any authority to do anything. But he has just signed a $300 million contract with a little company There are only 20 million people in Texas. That's $15 per person in Texas. Can this company track people fast enough? And we only have a 14-day window to do any good. And people may not even show symptoms.
Does it even matter what you're saying if it's not constitutional?
No, that's a whole thing. Why doesn't he call a special session of the legislature and let them deal with this? Because that's their job.
It is
doesn't he have, as chief executive of the state, have power to do that when the legislature or enter into a contractual agreement if the legislature is not in session?
But he doesn't have the money. The legislature controls the money. They haven't given him $300 million, $15 per person.
This is so intertwined, man.
Yeah,
you really got to be on top of your game to know all the ins and outs of this.
I know.
You know, like you're an expert in your field, I'm an expert in my field, so I can give you those quick, fast answers. But on this one, man, there's a lot of ins and outs when it comes to this, and the politicians know it. They know how to twist it well. All right, I got David giving us a call. Let me get David on the line. David, I appreciate you listening. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind, buddy?
Hey, how y'all doing? Excuse the background noise. I'm plumbing a two-story. Anyways, Lampasas this weekend is going to have a Black Lives Matter rally in their city park Saturday from 12 to 3:30. I sure would like to reach out to C.J. Grisham and his Open Carry boys to see if they'd be interested in going down there and participating.
Well, you just did. How's that? You just did.
Yeah, you just
and you heard
did.
thousands and thousands of other people heard you too. So,
is that 1 p.m. on Saturday?
It's 12 to 3:30 at the city park. The police are aware of it. They're going to let them go ahead and show up. They're going to be watching things real close. It's my opinion that because of being in Lampasas, there'll be a lot of alt-left extremists showing up. And there's no telling what kind of hell will be raised.
well, first of all, I bless them for the ability to have the free speech. And secondly, I thank goodness for all you people like you and others who are willing to watch to make sure it stays that way.
Yeah.
What else you got, David?
It's out on social media. This Floyd thing, I don't agree with what happened to him. It's a travesty. But my question is, are they questioning the officer's color or are they questioning the uniform? That's, my big thing. Is it the uniform or is it the person in it?
Maybe, hopefully, it's just the act itself of an individual that did something that they should have said, hey, this person's gasping for air. I should have been compassionate to at least adjust my knee. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, or whatever, if you're wearing a uniform or not. Yeah. If I'm a civilian holding down somebody because they've committed a crime and I just happen to be in that position and I got my knee on his neck, you would think I'd have smart enough brains to say, oh, he's choking, about to die. Let me adjust a little bit. But that wasn't the case. He was very cold in nature when it came to that. Yeah. Okay, look, I got a hard break in 10 seconds. Final words, David?
Thanks. No, just thanks for taking my call, and y'all be safe out there.
You too, buddy. Take care. All right, we'll be back in 3 minutes. We'll continue on. Give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, if you got a last statement here. We'll probably go in depth on all this other stuff tomorrow, just because it's been a hot topics today. 866-89-LOGIC, and stream us live at logicnation.us. Be back in 3.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, June 3rd, 2020. We're in the last segment of the last hour. Shane, I want you to hit real quick, since Rosenstein's being in question right now. Let's hit that topic for 4 minutes here and see what's going on.
Okay. Well, Rosenstein is testifying right now in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. And for those of you out there in the audience who don't know about this has to do with the whole Russia collusion thing that we've spent, how many years on? 4 years?
Too many.
Yeah, I know. But now, the Senate is going to, now that impeachment's over and all that stuff, it's over with, they are now going to start pulling people in front of all these Senate committees and try to, separate fact from fiction. Okay. So one of the first ones they pulled in front is Rosenstein. Okay. And for those of you who don't know, Rosenstein signed one of those FISA warrants to spy on Carter Page during the Trump changeover, from Obama to Trump. You know what I mean? So basically, Rosenstein, let me see if I can find
Rosenstein.
Yeah, Rosenstein, whatever. Scumbag is what I prefer to call him. But okay, here's Lindsey Graham. If you knew then what you know now, would you have signed the warrant application? Okay, that's Lindsey Graham.
That's a terrible question.
Oh, I know it is. Rosenstein basically said, no, I would not. And that was it.
And we made the joke.
Yeah.
Had I known I would have been arrested after breaking into the bank and trying to rob it, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this is funny because what's going to happen is they pulled Rosenstein in. They're going to scrutinize his testimony, and they're going to keep pulling in all these different people. And I would be willing to bet they'll pull in Clapper. I'd be willing to bet they'll pull in maybe Comey again. They'll pull in who's the other one? Not Clapper. I forgot what his name was off the top of my head.
Comey?
No, the other one.
Brennan and Clapper?
Yeah, Brennan.
There we go.
Brennan. That's the other angel of death. Anyway, they'll probably pull him in, require his testimony. And what's going to be funny about all this is that they're going to actually be put under oath, and if they don't testify, and according to the documents they've signed, there's a good chance that they could be held in contempt of Congress and perjury, and get thrown in jail either by perjuring themselves or because they broke the law.
You think they're going to go that far with it?
Yeah, I really do. Because, if they don't, think about it like this. What happens if they don't? What happens if no one's held accountable in this? I don't want to think of that.
Yeah, the options are too plentiful as to what could potentially happen if that happens.
Exactly. If they don't hold someone accountable, and Rosenstein was ranked number 2 in the DOJ at the time. Now, he was in charge of the Russia investigation because Sessions recused himself. So I hate to think of what is going to happen if no one is held accountable in this. There are too many problems in how the FBI got the FISA warrants. And keep in mind, they renewed them 4 times.
That's right. You got too many angry people waiting for justice on this.
Yes. And, I think Comey signed one of them. Rosenstein signed one of them. I forget who the other 2 were signed by, but, you basically have 4 FISA warrants signed for the same person.
And the information they had to do it was all bogus information.
Yeah, it was all bogus. It couldn't be verified in any shape, form, or fashion. So the idea that we just let this slide and let this go means that basically we're giving carte blanche to all of the DOJ and the FBI to basically do whatever they want. Yeah.
It goes all the way to the top of the Obama administration. But you heard Bill Barr say himself it's probably not going to happen when it comes to Vice President
no.
Biden, and because of executive privileges.
Yeah. It won't go past the DOJ. They might hold Rod Rosenstein accountable in some way, but it's basically those that go to jail are going to be from the DOJ down. That's basically what it amounts to. But they need to hold someone accountable, no matter what.
There's going to be a scapegoat somewhere. Who's it going to be and how long it's going to happen, I don't know. But there's it's going to be a long ride for this one, I'm sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's 3 hours. It was action-packed, wild. It was great. Thanks for your calls. And we'll do it again in 21 hours. We'll take a break and come back and do it hard again. So get your ammunition ready. Get your note-taking material ready. And until tomorrow, God bless. Keep your powder dry.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And, with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.